Good evening, everyone. Sir Owen Disney here, and I really wanted to do a video tonight about Halloween Horror Nights, but given the fact that we have a lot, and I do mean a lot of things to discuss about it, the actual event itself, all the mazes, all the houses, the streets themed towards The Walking Dead, I'm going to go ahead and let that percolate in my head, and we're going to do that video tomorrow. So tonight, we're going to talk about something completely different entirely. So, I have been there, done that when it comes to Walt Disney World. I have. I mean, I've rode everything and experienced everything I possibly can. I haven't stayed at every hotel, but I'm working on that slowly but surely. Now, I do want to say right now that I have started embarking on crazy park challenges. So, let's go all the way back to 2010, where I did my first ever 4 parks in one day. And 4 parks in one day, not that big of a deal now compared to what I've been doing since then. Excuse me. As a matter of fact, I want to go ahead and break down a couple of things real quick. I had to bring up my email, sorry, it's going to take a second. I do want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about what I ended up doing, and what I ended up doing is a challenge called 6 parks in one day. So, we'll go to 2010, was a 4 parks in one day. 2011, 4 parks in one day. So, let's go to 2012. So, last year, I decided, you know, I've been there, done that a billion times. I want to do all 4 Disney parks and both Universal parks. So, I came up with a touring plan. And I think I did pretty good. I started out about 7:14 in the morning. I left my room at 7:14. I actually have this timestamp. This was actually on my Facebook and my Twitter. And actually, if you want to see it, it's still available on the Disboards. So, I have this timestamp so I don't miss anything, any pertinent details. So, 7:32, I was on the bus to the Magic Kingdom. At 7:52, like 20 minutes later, I arrived at the Magic Kingdom. I rode Space Mountain at 8:05. I rode Buzz Lightyear at 8:19. I left the Magic Kingdom at 8:35. Now, this challenge for 6 parks in one day was very simple. I needed a roller coaster and a shoot-up ride, kind of like, you know, a shooting gallery style ride at every single park, if it was able to be possible. So that's the reason I picked Buzz Lightyear and Space Mountain. Obviously, Space Mountain covered my roller coaster, and Buzz Lightyear obviously covered my my shooting gallery style ride. Left the Magic Kingdom, got on the monorail at 4 minutes later, and went to the TTC. So about, of course, obviously my math is terrible, as you guys know out there. I can't do math. At 8:53, I was on the bus to Hollywood Studios. I arrived at 9:14, and at 9:19, 5 minutes later, I went to Toy Story Mania. At 9:54, I got on the Rock and Roller Coaster, and 10:13, I left the studios. So, I was on the bus for Animal Kingdom on 4 minutes later. So, that put me at arriving at Animal Kingdom at 10:43. At 10:51, I was already on Everest. 11:03, I did Dinosaur. And 11:24, I left Animal Kingdom. So, I got on the bus to Epcot at 11:32. At 11:53, I arrived. I had lunch at Cellier at 12:08, which is funny because a lot of people were saying, oh, and if you go for counter service, you might make your time go by a lot faster. And stopping for 2 table service meals is going to slow you down considerably. Well, maybe that might be the case if I wasn't already planning on everything. And 2, obviously I was by myself, so needless to say, I cut out the middleman like that. So, Le Cellier was over about 1:30, I got on Mission Space. Mission Space worked out to Spaceship Earth at 1:56, and at 2:21 I left Epcot. So about 2:30, I got into a cab, and I went to Orlando, and I went to Universal Studios. So I arrived in City Walk about 12 minutes later, so a nice little 10, 12-minute cab ride. Pretty good. At 3:15, I became an official annual pass holder at Universal. I got a Power Pass. Obviously, a Power Pass does come with blockout dates. Blockout dates really don't matter to me because I come down specific times during the year. Those times are never blocked out. There's no reasons to block out those times of the year because they are very low crowd times. And I also got me an annual pass holder ticket for Halloween Horror Nights, which entitled me to, I believe, last year. Let me check to make sure the dates line up here. Hold on, give me a second. So, 2012 and September. Okay. For the first 3 Fridays, it was my annual pass holder benefit, so I took care of that. For the first 3 Fridays, I was allowed to go to Halloween Horror Nights. Obviously, I only went once, and in retrospect, I probably should have went one more night, because I might have been able to have a better chance of having a better time, if you know what I mean. So, obviously, I have changed my whole deal with that this time around, especially this year. So, I got that ticket, and at 3:18, I actually finally got into Universal Studios. I was at Guest Services working on the annual pass holder deal. Excuse me. At 3:18, I arrived in Universal. At 3:28, I got my ticket, excuse me, at the Studio Audience Center for TNA Impact. So I had previously signed up for Impact emails, which basically, Deneen Neal, I don't know if she still works at Universal or not, I'm pretty sure she does. Deneen Neal would send us a weekly message, and it would VIP you into TNA Impact tapings. Well, obviously, since I went twice a year, I thought it'd be smart to go on that list. I went on that list, and it would be an email you could print out or show the email on your smartphone or your iPod or whatever device you have handy, and that would get you in, and you could +1 or +2, +3, +4, and in that case, you get this little ticket, and this ticket was your ticket for TNA Impact. Well, I'll get to that in a second. So, kind of a ticket, you get like a raffle ticket, is basically what it was. So, I went on Men in Black at 3:32, and I actually met some Dizzers, actually, and we talked about it on the Diz boards. So, 4:16, I went to the little area that they're promoting the Universal Timeshare, and I actually got hooked up with annual pass holder night documentation for Halloween Horror Nights, which of course would be the next day on my birthday. Well, on top of that, it took a bit because obviously the phone I had at the time, you remember the old blue flip phone I had a while back. Obviously, I haven't shot any video on that because it's impossible to. So the blue flip phone I had a while back, that's what I was using, and I was not able to get into my email that way. I had some sort of a problem. And that would be to sign up for this annual pass holder event. Well, thanks to the team members at Universal at that kiosk, I was able to sign up for that event, and what they were going to do is, since I couldn't print anything off, this is the problem, I couldn't print anything off, so because I couldn't print anything off, I was not able to check in. Because of that fact, they said they would print it off at Guest Services, and then I would go pick it up later on in the day. That was not a problem. I had no problem with that because, obviously, my time scale worked really well, and I had the time to kill. So I went and rode the Mummy at 4:21, and at 4:50, I exited Universal Studios. So, 6 minutes later, I would go into Islands, so my nice little brisk walk from park to park with City Walk in between. And about 3 minutes later, I was on Spider-Man, and at 5:08, I did the Storm Force of Cellier, which is the first time I've ever done that ride. And that was where I lost my Halloween Horror Nights 22 lanyard that had my ticket for Impact in it. So, of course, I was freaking out because I didn't have my ticket for Halloween Horror Nights. Well, actually, no, wrong, split that up. I did not have my lanyard for Halloween Horror Nights or my ticket for Impact, so I was worried something was going to happen. I wasn't going to be allowed to get in. Luckily, I went to Lost and Found, and they took care of it, so we're good to go. So, 5:19, I left Islands. 5:36, I entered the Blue Man Group area, which is where the VIPs line up for Impact. The people that don't have park tickets, they line up at this spot. Obviously, the people that have park tickets, They line up outside the bowl, right outside of Despicable Me, and between Despicable Me and Rip Red Rocket. So, excuse me, that's how you lined up back in the day for Impact tapings. Well, I got in the VIP line about 6:49. 7 o'clock, the Impact Wrestling tapings started. They were over about a little bit after 10. When I finally get out of the building, soundstage I'll be in for Halloween Horror Nights this year, actually. And I had dinner at the Hard Rock at 10:46. It took me about an hour to take care of it. Not the greatest night for a lot of reasons. I'm not going into that. But I will say it was kind of a stressful evening. We'll just put it that way. So an hour later, did Hollywood Driving Golf, did both courses. It's pouring the rain down. So I still got that done. 1:15, Mears Transportation finally arrived to take me back to Art of Animation. At 1:40, I got into Art of Animation, the parking lot, and at 2 o'clock, I finally collapsed in my bed at Art of Animation in the Little Mermaid section, completely exhausted, but triumphant because I succeeded. So you ask yourself, you say, oh, and why would you do something like that? Well, I can ask people the same question, why would you run a marathon? I mean, I wouldn't want to run a marathon. I can't. I have gout. No big deal. So obviously I can't, but some people can. And it's all about the challenge. The challenge here is to do something I've never done before, something that not many people have done before. And I wanted to up the ante. So once I got the $399 DVC annual pass, once we had that deal, I knew this had to happen. So I had to figure out how to make this better, how to make this bigger. Well, I kept the two same actual restaurants. So Le Cellier is still my lunch, and Hard Rock Cafe is still my dinner. I have added a few things. Number one, the rule is not 2 rides or attractions at every park anymore. The rule is now 4. So I have 4 attractions at every single park. This does include both Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon. So yes, I will be doing 4 attractions at both Disney water parks as well. And if Wet n Wild was officially, well, it is officially a Universal property now, but if Wet n Wild was connected to Universal, I'd probably have to add that in as well and do 9 parks in one day. Yikes. So, what I'm going to do is this. I've added the 2 water parks, I've got 4 attractions, and I also have the caveat of a snack or a beverage at every single park. So that's going to take care of it. Now, I don't have to have a snack or beverage at, I do have to have one at Universal, because technically, Hard Rock Cafe is at City Walk, so, which is not in the parks. So I'm going to have to eat there, and I'll still have to have a snack at Universal. But with Epcot, I have Le Cellier, and that covers everything, so we're good on that. Another thing, I want to up the ante once more and add mini golf to it. Obviously, we did Hollywood Driving Golf. I did that in 2012 last year. Well, I wanted to add Winter Summerland, because Winter Summerland's courses are right beside Blizzard Beach, which means I don't really have to backtrack or anything like that, because I'm already there anyway from Blizzard Beach, so what the hey, might as well do it, right? And my other rule is this. I have to make sure I end up in one place at the end of the night. I have to end my night at Splitsville. And usually I would have all my Disney parks accomplished before I go over Universal. That is not the case this year. So I have to be on my toes this time around. This is going to cost a pretty penny, because every time I have to go off property, this costs $19. I have to pay for my Mears transportation to get me over to Universal property. And also to SeaWorld property, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So, I had come up with a tentative plan. I like to call this a template. And this may change, but most likely it's not going to. So, let's talk about the rules. I have a dining reservation at 12:40 at Le Cellier. This may not work. So, I covered my bases this time, and I made a dining reservation for 2:15. So, with that way of thinking, I have to accomplish everything in Magic Kingdom, everything in Epcot, everything in Animal Kingdom, and both water parks before 2 o'clock. This is highly doable. I know it is. And this also allows me to be able to catch the to catch the Mears transportation over to Universal. Universal, of course, I cover Islands and also cover the studios, and I finish with Hard Rock and, of course, City Walk for Hollywood Drive and Golf. Before going over to Hollywood Studios and ending the night at Disney, and then, of course, going back to Splitsville and end the night with bowling. So I get to do 2 18-hole miniature golf courses. So that's 72 holes of mini golf, 2 water parks, bowling, and on top of that, 6 theme parks in one day. And you ask yourself, you're like, oh, and are you crazy? And I was like, some might say. A lot of people actually might say. But it doesn't matter, because I want to accomplish this, and I'm going to. So here is my tentative plan, if you're curious, since that's the reason why we're having this video in the first place. So, here's what we've got right now. First, we'll talk about the transportation. This is tentative based upon what I've heard and what I've seen, and hopefully this will be the case. If not, shorter time than this. Hopefully not longer, because longer might be a problem. So I will be at Jumbo House at the Animal Kingdom Lodge Villas. So that's taken care of. I go to Animal Kingdom, that bus trip, 18 minutes. I go to Blizzard Beach, and that's 6 minutes. From Blizzard Beach, I go to Art of Animation to catch the bus over to Typhoon Lagoon. That's 19 minutes. Typhoon to Animal Kingdom Lodge, so I can drop off all my wet clothes before I go over and finish the rest of the challenge, 28 minutes. I go to the Magic Kingdom, that's 21 minutes. Once I finish my time at Magic Kingdom, I go to Epcot via the monorail, so that takes a bit. Epcot to Animal Kingdom Lodge, so that's 20 minutes, so I can catch the Mears transportation over to Universal. So Universal to Animal Kingdom Lodge through Mears, Animal Kingdom Lodge to Hollywood Studios, that's 19 minutes. Hollywood Studios to Saratoga Springs, which is going to be my springboard to go over to the Downtown Disney area to end up at Splitsville, and Downtown Disney back to the Animal Kingdom Lodge Villas when I finally collapse on my bed that night, 23 minutes. So let's talk about the challenge, shall we? This is what I figured out. And as of this moment, this is what it's going to be. Now, right now, the cracked research staff of the very awesome touringplans.com, my good friends Lynn Testa and Scarlett Litton, are working on this plan as well. So, like I said, my template might work, but there's another way that might be more doable and save me a lot more time. So, hopefully Scarlett and Lynn can make this happen for me. If not, we'll go by this plan. So, 9 days, people. 9 days. Let's start at the Animal Kingdom. So, okay, we'll go to the Animal Kingdom. And luckily we have magic hours at 8 a.m., so I can't even get into the water parks till 10. So, I might be able to take my time in Animal Kingdom. This might be the only park I can actually take my time, because obviously I'm on a time crunch when it comes to Animal Kingdom. I've got to go to Rainforest Cafe and have myself a raspberry lemonade freeze. That is my drink and or snack and or both for Animal Kingdom. Then I go to Expedition Everest. I'll go to Triceratops Spin. I'll go to Primeval Whirl, and then I get a dinosaur. Done the party. We go to Blizzard Beach, and right away, I go to the Toboggan Racers, and then I go to Meltaway Bay, Teamboat Springs with the group that's with me, and then a little cross-country creek action, and I end up having a Fruit Punch Snowball at Arctic Expedition. I go to Winter Summerland, cover both winter and summer courses, and we're on our way to Typhoon Lagoon, which I go to Gangplank Falls, hit up the Crush and Gusher, Castaway Creek for a bit, chill out in the wave pool, in the surf pool just a bit, and have me some cookies and cream Arctic Dots, which looks to be my snack. Might end up being the mini donuts, haven't quite decided yet. Magic Kingdom, simple as easy. Go to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and then go to Dumbo, and then while I'm over there, go to Prince Eric's Village Market and have me an orange shaved ice, which sounds amazing, by the way. Space Mountain, Buzz Lightyear, you know how we do, and we're done with Magic Kingdom. Get to Epcot. Epcot is Soarin' Test Track, Le Cellier for lunch, Maelstrom, and Spaceship Earth. Why did I pick Maelstrom? Because Maelstrom's already close, and it's very close, and I can easily get from Maelstrom to Spaceship Earth with not much time. Given the fact I'm in Canada for my meal, which is already in World Showcase, I just jet over to Norway, and we're good to go. So I take Mears Transportation. I go to Islands. I do the Hulk. I do Spider-Man. go over to the Wizarding World, hit Forbidden Journey, have myself a frozen butter beer, and end with the Storm Force Celatron, because that's how we roll, folks. Go to the studios and finally ride Transformers, and then hit the Mummy up, and Kang and Kodo's Twirl and Hurl, finally hit that up. Men in Black to end it, and I end up at the Hard Rock Cafe for dinner. I go to Hollywood Drive-In Golf. I do both sci-fi and horror courses. This allows me to get over to Hollywood Studios. In Hollywood Studios, I go to the Tune-In Lounge and get me a peanut butter and jelly milkshake, because those are awesome. I go to Toy Story Mania, which is probably going to be my biggest wait of the day, I guarantee it. Star Tours, the Great Movie Ride, and end at the Rock and Roller Coaster. By this time, Hollywood Studios will be closing. I get a bus over to Saratoga Springs. I go to Downtown Disney, hit up Splitsville for a couple of rounds of bowling, and we end the night there. And you ask me again, could I do worse than this? Probably not. But I have some plans in mind. December 14th. I'm doing all 4 Disney parks, both Universal parks, and I'm ending the night enjoying the Christmas celebration at SeaWorld. So yes. Not the same, less actually, but I get to go to 3 theme park locations in one day, which is going to be awesome. And of course in 2015, we've got Disney World and Disneyland in the same week, which is going to be amazing. So this proves more than anything that I'm a crazy, crazy planner. And hopefully, like I said, this video may be completely useless to someone who's not a Disney fanatic like myself. So, like I said, for you Halloween Horror Nights fans, I will do that video tomorrow when I'm able to have everything in front of me of all the stuff that happened. There's a lot of tweets that get out. And a lot of pictures. Of course, I can't show those because obviously I can't just turn the camera over. Turn the phone around and show the pictures on my desktop. We'll do it that way. But I can tell you about what we found out, and looks really interesting. There'll be a lot of really awesome stuff this year. Very much looking forward to it. Very tentative right now, to be totally honest. I'm a little tense, but we'll discuss that later on. In the meantime, we'll talk about Halloween Horror Nights tomorrow, and of course Thursday we're going to be doing TNA Impact. Friday, this is the tentative plan as of right now. It's Friday, something's wrong with my eye, I don't know what it is. Hopefully nothing major, I'm not going to look like a pirate or anything like that, so hopefully get that checked out in the morning. Friday we're going to be watching Insidious 2. Thursday we're going to be watching The Family. Saturday we're actually going to be, at this moment, going to Athens to watch The Spectacular Now, Ain't Them Body Saints, and Austin Land. And then on Sunday, we're going to be filming, actually. We're going to be filming 2 verses that are going to be showcased while I'm gone. So I'm actually going to put 2 AJ pieces of business on this channel while I'm away. So I'm going to put them in the YouTube, obviously, and I'm going to put them on private like I do normally. And then I'm going to release them on the 22nd and 29th. I think that's right. Those Sundays, of course, will be the verses. So, yeah. In the meantime, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, and spread the word about Pop. And you're more than welcome to tweet me. You can. It's at Sir Owen Disney. Very simple to find, very easy to find. And if you want to Facebook me, you can friend me on Facebook. Owen Disney, very simple there. And if you want to send an email of some sort, more than welcome to sirowen.disney@gmail.com. So there's always that. In the meantime, I'm going to have me some dinner because it's almost 9:40 and I haven't eaten yet tonight. And I know you ask yourself, oh, and you always go to B-Dubs? Well, I went to B-Dubs so I could play trivia tonight because that's how I roll. And in the meantime, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.